She cried blood instead of water. She is a curse. Banish her, some people said. The day the baby was born, women dropped their calabashes, the old men stopped breathing, and when the child opened her eyes for the first time, tears of blood ran down her cheeks. She is a cursed child, someone shouted, but her mother held her tightly, shaking and said, "She is my child, please." The village priest looked once and turned his face away. "Any child that cries blood," he said softly, "will change the fate of this land for good or for evil." They named her Shila. She grew quietly and did not play with other children. Where she passed, whispers followed, "Don't touch her, her tears bring death. And her eyes see spirits." At night, Shila cried, not because she wanted to cry, but because the world was too heavy for a child like her, and whenever her bloody tears touched the ground, strange things happened. A dead tree grew leaves again and a sick child stood up and walked. The village soon learned that Shila's tears could heal, but they could also destroy. When she cried in pain, sickness disappeared, and when she cried in deep sadness, people passed away in their sleeps. Shila did not understand it. She only knew one thing: "I don't want to hurt anyone." She cried to her mother, "I just want to be normal." Her mother wiped her face with trembling hands. "There is nothing wrong with you," she whispered. "The world is just afraid of what it doesn't understand." One dry season, the king's only son fell sick. No herbs or prayers worked. "Bring the girl who cries blood," the king ordered. They dragged Shila to the palace. "Kneel," the guards shouted. She looked at the king and said, "I'm scared. Please don't make me cry." But the king banged his staff on the table. "If my son honor life," he said coldly, "you will honor life with him." Shila's heart broke, and then she cried. Her tears rolled down her cheeks. The prince gasped, coughed and opened his eyes. He was healed. The palace rejoiced, but Shila collapsed. Her mother screamed and ran to her. "Shila, my child." The priest checked her pulse and stepped back slowly. "She gave too much," he said. "Each tear takes a piece of her life." Instead of thanking her, the king grew afraid. If she can save life, he thought, she can also take it. That same night, the king called his guards. "Banish the girl," he commanded. "Take her far into the forest. Let no one see her again." "But my king," one guard whispered, "what if the land needs her?" The king turned his face away and said, "The land will survive, but my throne may not." They took Shila and her mother at dawn. At the edge of the forest, the guard stopped and said, "This is where we leave you." Shila looked back at the village one last time, the only home she ever knew. "I never wanted to be a curse," she whispered. As they walked into the forest, Shila began to cry again. Her tears soaked the earth, and behind them, the river in the village slowly dried up. The crops began to wither and children started falling sick, but the king slept peacefully, unaware that the land's lifeline was bleeding away in the forest. That night, Shila looked at her mother and asked softly, "Mother, if I stop crying, will they survive?" Her mother said nothing. She only held her close and cried with her, and for the first time, Shila forced her tears to stop. And when she stopped crying, the forest breathed in, and never breathed out. No crickets, no owls or wind, just silence so heavy it pressed on her chest. She sat on the cold ground, her eyes dry and burning. Her mother watched her in fear. "Shila," she whispered, "it's okay to cry." Shila shook her head slowly. "If I cry," she said, "people will pass away. If I cry, they use me or the world will bleed." Her voice broke, but no tears came. That same night, back in the village, something woke up. The dried river cracked open and from inside it, black water began to crawl out, moving on its own. In the palace, the king sat up suddenly, sweating. He heard a voice call his name and said, "You sent her away." He jumped up. "Who is there?" But the room was empty. By morning, the village had changed. Dogs barked at empty air and pregnant women screamed, holding their stomachs. The priest ran to the shrine and fell on his knees. "The balance is broken," he cried. The girl's tears were holding back the ancient oracle's hunger. Back in the forest, Shila screamed for the first time. The ground shook and the trees bent toward her like servants. Her mother grabbed her. "Shila, stop. You're hurting the villagers." Shila looked at her with empty eyes. "No," she said softly, "the villagers hurt me first, so I have changed my mind. From now on, no mercy." And then she smiled like a witch. In the village, people began to honor life, not peacefully. They froze where they stood, eyes wide, mouths open, as if they saw something terrible coming for them. The king ran outside. "What is happening to my land?" he screamed. The priest pointed toward the forest with shaking hands. "You banished her tears. Now you will face what they were feeding." Sheila fell to her knees. Her body shook. "I am what comes when mercy runs out," she whispered. Far away, the king fell to his knees as the ground split open before him. From the crack, a whisper rose. "Return the girl, or lose everything." The king screamed in fear, but it was too late, because in the forest, Sheila had taken her first step, to be a witch, and to walk together with Oracle. She started walking through the forest. "Sheila, please slow down," her mother begged, but Sheila did not turn. Her voice came back too calm for a child. "Mother," she said, "do you hear them?" "Hear who?" her mother whispered, shaking. "The ones that drank my tears. They are with me right now." Long ago, before the village and the king, a strong oracle lived in the land. It did not eat food or drink water. It fed on blood and suffering. The elders once sealed it away using sacrifice and mercy, but when Sheila was born, her tears became the new seal. Every tears of blood she cried fed the ancient oracle just enough to keep it asleep, but the king paid her goodness with bad. Sheila's mother said, "I can't see anyone and I want you to be normal, my child." "I was alone, until your child cried tears of blood," the oracle said through Sheila's mouth. Sheila's mother fell to the ground. "Who are you?" she sobbed. "I am the hunger they buried and the end they feared," the oracle replied. Sheila's own voice pushed through, weak and broken. "Mother, I'm still here." Tears filled Sheila's eyes again. In the village, the king and the elders gathered at the shrine. The priest screamed, "A child is angry and she wants to start controlling the oracle that feeds on her tears. Once that happens, she would come for revenge. How can we stop her?" The king asked. "We have to seal the oracle with a human's life before she succeeds. Use her mother since she's already in the forest," the king said. Back in the forest, Sheila's body shook violently. "I can feel it pulling me. It wants to wear me forever." Her mother held her. "Look at me, Sheila. You are my child, not a monster." "I know, Mama, but I want the oracle fully awake to fight the villagers with me." Her mother's heart broke. "No, Sheila. There is only one way to seal the oracle. It's with a life given freely. And I want to seal it with my life to set you free, my daughter." Sheila looked at her mother with wide eyes. "No, Mama, don't do that." Her mother smiled through tears. "When you were born," she whispered, "I promised to protect you, so I'm doing this for you." The oracle laughed. "Give me the child," it said. "She is already mine." The mother stood. "No," she said firmly. "You will take me instead." Sheila screamed, "Mama, no, I can handle this." Her mother stepped forward and said to Sheila, "Live long, my daughter." She fell down and vanished with the oracle. Silence filled the forest while Sheila cried, until her tears of blood washed the land. Rivers began to flow again, crops slowly rose, but Sheila's tears of blood didn't stop because her mother's life only sealed the oracle, but the oracle still feeds on Sheila's tears. At dawn, villagers found Sheila at the forest edge alone and alive. They took her to the king. "We have been looking for you everywhere. Please forgive us," the king said. Sheila looked at him and said, "I did not come to forgive. I came to stay to the end, bless the good people and punish the bad ones." That night, Sheila sat alone at the old shrine, the same shrine where elders once sealed the oracle. She said to the oracle, "My mother gave her life to you freely, and you also feed on my tears. For that, I don't want you rise against my people, until I say otherwise." The ancient oracle listened. By morning, Sheila had felt powerful and strong. The priest said to the king, "Sheila is no longer just human, she is the boundary." Sheila called the village together. "Hear me," she said. "My mother's life sealed what my tears once held, so this land is built on fear, lies, and blood." She looked at the king. "So there will be a rule. No child of this land will ever be banished," Sheila said. "No woman will be sold or be used for ritual." The elders murmured. Sheila's eyes darkened slightly. "Every injustice," she said, "feeds what sleeps below." The king swallowed hard, and the ground trembled in warning. From that day, the village changed. people learned kindness out of fear. At night, Shila stood at the edge of the shrine, awake. She never slept deeply, but not everyone obeyed. In secret, the king grew angry. Why should a girl rule us? He spat, she is just a reminder of our shame. The king told his son to go and get twins for him, a boy and a girl. He told the prince to unalive the female twin and bring her blood, so he can use it to make Shila's bloody tears powerless, and use the male twin to seal the oracle forever, because that's what his new native doctor told him to do. Just to unalive Shila. During the day, the scream came from behind the palace walls. Shila felt it before anyone could run to tell her. Her chest tightened. A child, she whispered. Someone hurt a child. She stood up slowly. Already knowing the truth, Shila found the boy and the prince at the back of the king's compound. The prince stood there holding a bowl with blood inside it, the same boy Shila once healed with her tears now grown. The small boy said to Shila, I asked him to let us go, but he unalived my sister instead. Shila told the prince to let the small boy go. Immediately, the king arrived and signaled his son to pour the blood on Shila. He did, and Shila became weak. You broke the rule, Shila said quietly. The prince laughed nervously. You made everyone fear you, but not anymore. Her eyes filled with tears. No, she whispered, please, not again. The moment Shila's tear dropped down her cheeks, the shrine cracked open. The oracle woke up fully. From the earth rose shadows with mouths. They did not attack, they judged. The prince screamed first, and the ground opened beneath him and swallowed him. The king screamed, no, I brought a twin for you to feast on, not my son. It's only life can satisfy you, so take the twin and Shila. But Shila screamed, no, please let the small boy go. My mother gave her life to save our people, and you have been feeding on my tears. Take the king and I, and let my people live in peace. The oracle fed greedily on the king and Shila. The shrine closed and silence returned. When morning came, the village was calm, the land healed, the oracle was gone, and Shila was gone too. Years later, children still whisper her story. They say if a child cries unfair tears, the ground grows warm, and sometimes, late at night, the earth weeps red, not from hunger, but from remembering the girl who cried blood so the world could stay alive.